Davis, who had been a guard for 15 years, was afraid of going up to the non-existent 7th floor because the price of his sin lay there. Curse of the Mesopotamian sarcophagus had finally found him. City, are you watching this video today? Write it in the comments. And if you are expanded by the telling of the stories of the curses of the past, retired staff sergeant living in Chicago, 62 years old, as a night watchman. He had retired from Iraq 15 years ago. Financial situation was not sufficient. After his wife Susan died of cancer, the hospital expenses had bankrupted Davis. In desperation, found a night watchman job at a security company alone at the Meridian office complex. Story old building, but he had a secret. While serving in Iraq in 2003, they had discovered an ancient tomb in Babylon. Their superiors wanted them to report the situation. Davis and his friends made another decision agreement. Inside the sarcophagus were golden objects, old coin collections, and precious stones. Davis's, as always, was simple. Treasure did not belong to them. No one would see it. They could share it. 4 soldiers divided the treasure. Davis's share was a golden numeral and an ancient spear tip. He sold these in America, paid the down payment on the house. Day, the course of his life began. Sarah got sick. Then financial programs. Bad outcomes were also emerging from his friends. 4 soldiers who opened the sarcophagus. 3 died horribly. Car accident. Tony in a construction accident. Steve in a house fire. Davis remained. Davis thought these were coincidences until he started working at the Meridian building. Were normal. Do routine security patrols in the building. Write a report and hand over to the morning shift. 3rd month. Strange things began. Sometimes the elevator went up to the 7th floor. Building had 6 floors. When Davis looked at the keypad, there was no number 7. Elevator read floor 7. Time it happened, Davis thought it was an electrical fault. Technician was attached to the elevator. Technician found no problems. 3 times a week, the elevator would go up to the 7th floor. Davis never got out and go down. Months later, things got even worse. There was movement on the security cameras on the 7th floor. Davis watched in the control. Shadows on the screen. Davis called the security company. Cameras on the 7th floor. No, Mr. Davis. The building has 6 floors. There is no 7th floor. There is an image on the screen. Tomorrow, the technician will connect. Technician came and checked the systems. There was no problem. The 7th floor camera was still working. Told the situation to the building. The building manager, Mr. Peterson, came and examined the situation. Mr. Davis, this building was built in 1987. It has never had 7 floors. Can do its plans their size. Davis's plans were seen. In fact, the building was 6 floors. The elevator was still going to the 7th floor. It was very uneasy. The elevator bell rang. There was no one. The elevator door opened and closed. Then the screen showed this. Elevator is going up to the 7th floor. Davis could no longer stand. Considered his resignation. The usefulness of the job. Pension was not enough. 1 year later, the conditions got even worse. Strange things began to happen in Davis's house. Electricity would go out. While Davis was watching TV, the channel would change. Old Iraq documentaries would open, especially programs about the Mesopotamian civilization. One night, while Davis was sleeping, he saw that sarcophagus in his dream. A voice from inside has to be, "You who stole my treasure." Davis woke there, drenched in sweat, but the voice continued, "Belongs to me." Davis walked around the house, where the voice was coming from. Night at work, the same thing happened. The elevator went up to the 7th floor, and voices were heard there. Davis stayed in the security room, unable to resolve. The intensity increased even more. Robert Davis, you are a thief. Davis now understood that this was not an ordinary electrical fault. This was about his past. Night when he went home, he called his old friend Jerry. Jerry was also an Iraq veteran, but had not been involved in the sarcophagus incident. "Jerry, I need to talk to you about something." "What happened, Bob?" "Do you remember the sarcophagus we found in Iraq?" "Of course. Or divided it. I didn't join." "Jerry, strange things are happening. It's as if that sarcophagus is following me." Jerry grew worried. Thought about how Marcus, Tony, and Steve happened. Davis had never connected these. "What do you mean?" "Jerry, they all died in terrible accidents. And all after opening the sarcophagus." Davis's blood ran cold. "Curse? I don't know, but curses of the Mesopotamian civilization are legendary." Davis wanted Jerry to do research. A few days later, bad news! I found information about that sarcophagus. "What did you find?" "A tomb from the end of the ancient Babylonian period. It is said that there were curse writings in the grave. Whoever opens this grave will be followed until death." Davis's hands trembled. "Jerry, but I sold the items long ago." "Then something else must be done." "What?" "To go to the grave and apologize. Maybe the curse will lift." Davis considered Jerry's advice. Couldn't risk going to Iraq. Night at work, even more terrifying things happened. The elevator not only went to the 7th floor, it was calling Davis as well. The elevator door stayed open. A voice came from there. Davis froze at the security desk. The voice continued, You stole from my grave. Now let the price be paid. Davis was now about to commit a massacre. Call Jerry again. Jerry, I can't take it anymore. Knight, it is speaking with me. Who is speaking? Spirit in the sarcophagus. He's even saying his name. What is his name? Nabu-rimani, Babylonian priest. Jerry researched. Bob, this name is real. It exists in ancient records. What can I do? Find a shaman. Someone who will communicate with the spirit. To search for a shaman in Chicago. Finally found a woman named Amelia Morrison. Of Native American origin, she performs spiritual cleansings. Amelia saw before Davis's eyes is a serious curse. It is the avenger of ancient spirits. Can you help? Can try. But it is expensive and dangerous. Davis's son was willing to spend the money. Night, Amelia came to Meridian's house. They will go up to the 7th floor. When the elevator door opened, Davis was trembling with fear. Amelia was calm. The elevator went up to the 7th floor. When the door opened, there was a long corridor in front of it. It was impossible because the building had 6 floors. Amelia walked down the corridor. At the end of the corridor, there was a door. Amelia opened it. Inside was an ancient tomb chamber. Like the sarcophagus they had seen in Iraq. Amelia spoke toward the tomb. Nabu-rimani. A voice echoed. Disturbs my peace. I am Amelia Morris. This man wants to ask for forgiveness. Robert Davis's grave approached. He fell to his knees. Nabu-rimani, I am very sorry. I hid your tomb. I stole your valuables. I did wrong. You and your friends disturbed my eternal sleep. I know, and I am very remorseful. Remorse is not enough. Been sentenced to my curse. But if there are others, I will lighten my curse. How do I warn? Tell your story. Davis accepted. I will tell it, Nabu-rimani. But remember, graves are sacred places. The 7th floor disappeared. Davis and Amelia found themselves in the elevator. After that day, the strange events and Davis's appearance stopped. The elevator no longer went to the 7th floor. Davis kept the amount, told his story to old friends, neighbors on internet forums. He warned people, do not touch ancient graves. 3 months later, Davis left the security job. A small pizza shop was opened, turned to normal. Still sometimes sees Nabu-rimani in his dreams. Thanks it. Your word, Robert. You are at peace now. The sins of the past follow us. True remorse and apologies can remove curses. Davis's greed. He lived a terrible curse. But when he took and found others, he found peace. Sometimes our greatest punishment is our own conscience, and salvation comes only by telling the truth. If you like this story, we are here for stories of ancient curses and reckoning with the past.